Hello everyone and welcome back to the mysterious world. Today we have a very interesting video for you guys. We're going to talk about the top 10 newly discovered species that have scientists horrified. Some of the creatures Mother Nature has made are so scary that we let them live in our nightmares rent-free. The list begins with number 10, sea otters. There are a lot of cute things about these fluffy little balls of joy. When they go to sleep, they hold hands to stay close to each other. They float on their backs and use stones balanced on their bellies to crack open clams while they do this. The mother sea otter will blow air into the fur of her young to make them super fluffy, floaty, and warm. On the other hand, there's a scary side to these cute teddy bears. Otters have been seen killing their mates and taking their young away from their mothers. And let's not even talk about what they do to young seals. Number 9, the northern Fulmar. The first part of their stomach, called the proventriculus, has an oil that serves as both a high-energy food source for their chick and a defense against other birds. When the Fulmar feels threatened on its nest, it will shoot this fishy mixture in a bright orange stream up to 3 meters away. If this nasty-smelling vomit got on a predator's feathers, it would make it less able to keep water out, which could lead to a slow, painful death. Number 8, the Texas horned lizard. Auto-hemorrhaging of the eye can happen to any species. This shows how flexible evolution can be. Several kinds of horned lizards can bleed from their eyes. This is a defense mechanism that helps them avoid being eaten. This is a good way to stop people from doing wrong. The blood-filled sinuses in the eye sockets swell up and break, letting the lizard fire a stream of blood that can travel up to 1.5 meters. People say that the taste of the blood is so bad that would-be attackers will run away in fear. This is in addition to the fact that their blood will stun anyone who tries to attack them. Number 7, the zombie ant fungus. Because an outbreak of this fungus can kill an entire colony and its spores can quickly take over an ant's mind, other ants will throw an infected bug far away from the nest. After getting lost, the victim will start climbing through the nearby trees until it gets to an open area where it will die. Then, it changes into a shell that the fungus can use to grow, and eventually, tendrils will grow out of the ant's head and body. When the fungus is fully grown, it will send out spores that will spread the disease to any ants nearby. There are about 400 different kinds of fungi that can take over the brains of insects and make them do whatever they want. Each of these fungi has evolved to be able to take over the brain of a certain kind of insect and make it do what it wants. Number 6, the velvet worm. In the southern hemisphere, there are many different kinds of velvet worms, and this one is just one of them. It's hard to find a way to hunt like they do. First, find the invertebrates that are active at night by using antennae that are sensitive to sound. The second step is to use arms on either side of the head that have been modified to shoot a slimy glue-like substance that stops people from moving. The third step is to inject saliva into the body of the prey, which starts the process of digestion. Step 4, suck out the brains like an insect milkshake to get rid of them. Number 5, the Apomus Beetle. The larvae of the Apomus Beetle put on a show called "Eat Me, I'm Helpless" to lure hungry frogs and salamanders to their deaths. A larva doesn't want to be eaten by an amphibian's tongue, so it uses hook-like fangs that stick to the animal's head. After this stage, it will have paralyzed and then eaten its prey in a few hours. If a frog somehow gets a larva in its mouth first, which is very unlikely, it will either throw up or spit out the larva before it starts its own attack. The Apomus beetle has never been able to beat the frog, because it has never been able to attack it successfully. The jewel wasp. Parenting can seem like a lot of work, but a jewel wasp who is about to have a baby only needs her own zombie cockroach to care for her young. She lays an egg on the helpless bug. When the egg hatches, the bug starts eating itself. After living inside the cockroach's body for its whole life, it dies inside the cockroach's empty shell. The female jewel wasp puts 2 carefully measured doses of poison into the veins of the ghoulish wet nurse. This is done so that she can be hired as a helper. When the first shot is given to the roach's thoracic ganglion, it makes it unable to move. The second injection, which is given to the roach's brain, blocks the receptors of the neurotransmitter octopamine. This stops the roach from using its natural flight response. After removing 1/2 of each cockroach's antenna with its chewing mouthparts, the wasp leads its walking prey to its burrow. Number 3. The hairy frog. This frog can break its own bones and then drive the ends of the broken pieces out through its back toes to make very strong claws, just like Wolverine can do with his adamantium claws. How does it work? A piece of collagen that acts as connective tissue holds the bone at the end of the frog's toe and the claw together. When the animal feels threatened, a muscle in its foot contracts, which pulls the claw away from the end of the bone and cuts through the toe. In Cameroon, the frogs are a delicacy, so hunters kill them with long spears because they are so valuable. Number 2. The Bobbit Worm. The Bobbit Worm buries itself underground and waits for its prey, just like the famous Sarlacc monster on Tatooine in Star Wars Episode 6, Return of the Jedi. It can pounce so quickly when it feels threatened that it is said to be able to cut a fish in half. It has 5 very sensitive antennas that let it know when potential victims are coming close. The prey is then pulled into the worm's burrow, where it can grow to up to 3 meters long. C-3PO said it best. "In his belly, you'll find a whole new meaning of pain and suffering." Number 1. The hagfish. How do you even start taking care of a hagfish? The 4 of them hearts? Or is it because they are the only known animal species with a skull and no other bones? In fact, the most interesting thing about their plan is how they plan to protect themselves. People think that glands that run down the body make a sticky goo that can block the gills of a predator. When a possible predator grabs a hagfish, the fish sends out a cloud that makes the attacker drop the fish and run away. Scientists are very interested in the slime that this trick makes, hoping to find a way to use it. But it's possible that these terrifying species are able to keep away possible threats because of how scary they look. After all, it is possible that people could kill off a lot of species. And maybe the fact that these species have been around for so long is what makes them so interesting. I'm pretty sure there's many other scary yet fascinating species for us to discover. That's it for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel. It'll help us out. Thank you for listening. Thanks for watching.